In this another video, I gotta give love to Shaheed Boston and his content. This elder white dude, pretty much, I really do look up to because he a truth teller, and otherwise in a world that come from basically those people who lies, but you do have some white people out here that tell the truth. Now you'll say that you have some black people. What about y'all sit up there and talk about this white guy and Tom Sawyer? I said you can't compare him to Tom Sawyer because Tom Sawyer is a buck dancing cool. Shaheed Salson is a dude that's telling the truth. See, white folks are people like Charlie Kirk and many others, Richard Spencer, Jared Taylor, many of these white nationalists, outright so-called conservatives, because they really outright. Like Charlie Kirk, he was an outright white supremacist. And if you listen to all this commentary, all this shit, it basically was anti-black. And he said, even though it was a whole bunch of factors that was to assassinate him, not because this man was so-called intelligent. Most of these white nationalists, if you get into a straight-up debate with them, you can destroy all their arguments real quick, because we all know these white supremacist arguments based on lies and not truth. They'll use half-truths, but you can destroy and debate them on. They'll run from them debates. And like my brother said in the same, my brother Marquis said, he sent messages out to Charlie Kirk and many of the what's his name, Nick Fuentes, and they didn't want to come on this panel because they know certain. See, I'm gonna tell you something. Them people like Charlie Kirk and all them, they know who not to fuck with on YouTube that destroyed their credibility and their arguments in a debate. And when you're a black man or even a white man that on truthhood, you can destroy all their arguments. See, the white supremacists, these arguments is already easy to destroy because they got to use half-truths. Like, if you ever listen to these white supremacists like Jared Taylor and many others, especially Nick Fuentes, they always like to throw up the fact that somehow all black people was on welfare, we were DEI hires, and all kind of shit. When you already look up the stats, when you look up the government stats and tell you otherwise, who benefited from DEI, affirmative action, welfare. You look up those stats, and you can use them stats, the government stats, pull them stats up and destroy their whole argument. Their arguments are easy. The white supremacist arguments are easy to debunk, easy to destroy, because they got a track record of lying. They got a track record of lying about the truth. Instead of them coming out and being a real white supremacist and saying, look, we don't like y'all niggas. We think that y'all should be at the bottom. We don't care if you come out with this. Yes, we did this shit to you, and we don't give a fuck. We don't care about y'all civil rights movement. Yes, we had your leaders assassinated. Basically, you got to pull this shit out of them, but a true white supremacist will come out and say that. And that's what Charlie Kirk was. Charlie Kirk was that white man that said this shit, that black people, was better off doing Jim Crow before the Civil Rights Bill. If you all go back before the Civil Rights Bill, how black people were living before civil rights? We were living in third world squalor. Everything, even before that, when we did build our thriving black communities, what did the white people do? Like the Black Wall Streets in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Elaine, Arkansas, Oliverville, Georgia, where they destroyed the whole town and flooded it out. Then we can talk about Slocum, Texas, Rosewood, Florida. It is a few other towns that I can mention. It's a lot of them that were destroyed by white folks being jealous of our success. And see, the thing is, white folks always been jealous of our success. We came out of slavery, and they told us, they even during the heart of Jim Crow Reconstruction, we didn't get the 6 acres in the mule that was promised. So we said, they told us that, we don't want to have nothing to do with you niggers. So black people build our own thriving communities. But white folks, that wasn't enough. White folks had to come over and fuck with us. They always have done that. And they'll tell you, well, why you black people can't pull yourselves up by the bootstrap? I said, motherfucker, every time we try, here will come y'all ass destroying our community. Here come y'all ass right behind us. Did you gerrymander us, red line us at the banks, which y'all still do today? Eminent domain, basically COINTELPRO, all this shit, assassinate black leaders. But you talk about y'all one leader that y'all got killed by another white dude who's a conservative in a right wing just like you. Now, I don't know the reasons why that white dude did that, but even y'all don't want to acknowledge that a white kid did that shit, because ain't no black people running around trying to kill y'all ass. So y'all know we couldn't do it. So what y'all do, y'all use somehow y'all want to turn it into a Zionist, a Zionist ass move. Say, well, it was the Israelis that did it. Israelis ain't even thinking about Charlie Kirk. Yeah, they don't like Charlie Kirk, but they got bigger things they do. They are not worried about Charlie Kirk. And black people are not being hanging out in Salt Lake City, Utah, trying to do shit, trying to plot some shit against y'all motherfucking white nationalists. We got our own problems. We couldn't do that anyway, because even if we did, y'all motherfuckers would come down on our ass like a ton of bricks. Like y'all still want to do right now. Even though y'all know we don't have nothing to do with that shit, but the whole idea, y'all use that like every event that happened to white folks, y'all use that as a catalyst to destroy thriving black communities. Y'all always use that shit, even if we had nothing to do with it. You white folks have used that as a reason to do the shit y'all want to do to us. Y'all always have done that shit. Even now. Even like I told people, even after they passed the Civil Rights Bill, they had to find other bills to subjugate us. They kept certain civil rights bills. They kept it on the wraps because they didn't want black Americans to be thriving whatsoever. Our black people thriving and doing well it goes against the narrative that you got these people that came out of slavery and built their own. These white people couldn't compete with that. They didn't want to compete with that. Just like they don't like compete with us all kind of other levels for athletically, for entertainment wise. White people never wanted to compete with black Americans from the jump. So, this is the reason why they said, well, we want to implement, Charlie Kirk wanted to say, well, black people need to just go back before 1965. And the sad thing is, you got some Negroes up here crying about this dude's death. And then you have Negroes coming to us who don't give a fuck about what happened to Charlie Kirk. You got some of them telling us we wrong for our thinking. And I told them, fuck you. If you want to be a good old bootlick ass nigga, good. I'm glad y'all letting us know who y'all ride with. Because I'm going to tell you something. white supremacists normally break their tools when they don't need them. And when they don't need y'all ass, what white supremacy like to do is throw y'all ass right back to the community after they done using y'all ass up. Look where Candace Owens at. Look at where Candace Owens at. Look at where she at. All she had to do is say something about what happened to the Palestinians. She'll have that vigor talking to defend black people. You dig? She didn't have that kind of vigor to defend white people, black people. White people said all kind of shit about black people this, that, she right along with. But the Palestinians issue became a hot button. And I ain't mad at the Palestinians because it ain't their fault. And I'm very sympathetic to the Palestinian plight. But for the simple fact is, you got Candace Owens sitting up there championing that. She couldn't even champion shit for black people. And when she did start a championship for the Palestinians, all the anti-Semitic, the people that, the Zionists came out against her like a motherfucker. Because any support what you call a Palestinian, you consider the anti-Semite. This is how these little hat people weaponize being against the annihilation of Palestinians. It's almost like they did the same thing. They orchestrated the Armenian motherfucking genocide. They actually incentivized the Turks to go and remove the Armenians, kill Kardashian people. Cause everybody want to think the Armenians are white. No, the Armenians are Semitic. Armenians are related to Arabs and Jews. They are Semites. They are Semites. They are Shia. So, and the Shemites are cousins of the Afro-Asiatic line, which is African. That's why I didn't really trip off Kanye West getting with Kim Kardashian, because that technically you ain't doing. At one time, Arabs that used to be that. Like you go down to Yemen, and you'll see Arabs that look like Africans, and they're Yemens, they Arabs. But the whole thing is, back to the subject at hand, we all know it's an unseen hand that remain hidden. It ain't that because the hand is invisible. No, you can literally see the hand if you pay attention to it making moves on the chessboard. And like I told people, Charlie Kirk was a pawn. He was literally a pawn used in a scheme of things. That's why they had Charlie Kirk assassinated. The reason why they had Charlie Kirk assassinated, because they know what's going to happen is that these white boys going to start crashing out. They already know this. They already know that these white boys going to start crashing out, doing shit, and then they know they want these white boys to do that. So what they can do, Donald Trump can implement martial law. They want to be able to implement like a Order 66 shit. Donald Trump and his constituents, they want to put in martial law. Then when they put in martial law, what they do by the state being under the state of martial law, that means all your amendments, your constitution can be held in suspense in law of what you call in the reason of anarchy. See, they let that shit that happened in Washington D.C. ain't nothing but a goddamn motherfucking elementary kid's birthday party. But they trying to get this shit by assassinating Charlie Kirk. Is what they try to do is have these white boys going out crashing out, because these white people ain't dumb. They know that their own people, particularly white males, are going to crash out. They already know this. So they're expecting, that's why you think they put all the black HBCUs on lockdown. Even though they know black people that have shit to do with that, these white folks are still blame us for that shit. Because these people are so evil, dead evil, hate us, They don't give a fuck if we could be millions of miles away from what happened in Salt Lake City, Utah. They'll use us as the tip. They'll use that situation as the template to go do shit to black people because these motherfuckers are so wicked and evil and hateful that they already know some of them gonna crash out. Why you think I'll be telling black people to have y'all power tools on deck? Because, like I said, these people are used this event that happened to Charlie Kirk to do wicked shit and implement laws. And then this is all, when the truth come out, which they literally trying to hide. When the truth come out, it's gonna reveal all those who plotted and the reason why they had Charlie Kirk assassinated, not because Charlie Kirk was really goddamn important. He was really ignorant. You could have destroyed and debunked all his arguments, just like Jared Taylor, just like Richard Spencer, just like most of these white supremacists. Me personally, I think it's a waste of fucking time trying to debate these what fucking white supremacists, because it ain't that the fact that they're ignorant. You can change someone that is ignorant. You can give them knowledge, but those who are arrogant, that's a whole different thing. When they have a level of arrogance to the fact that they so arrogant that they think that they are right, even though the factual evidence and information don't reflect what they think. It don't reflect what they think. Like this whole point of this one dude was talking about why black men having children out of wedlock and not taking care of their children. When you bring up the facts and the stats, you found out that black women outnumber black men. Even now, black women they outnumber black men. So you got a population of women that have more children out of wedlock, and you ask yourself, well, if it ain't about black men, since black women have more children out of wedlock than black men, their population stability, you wonder why majority of us don't have children. That means I should have a whole bunch of children out of wedlock, but I don't have any children. You dig? I don't have any. So you got a whole bunch of black men that don't have children. Well, who is these children by? By Brad, this white man, the same motherfucker who said we ain't taking care of our children, laying up with black women, making all these children out of wedlock, and then the black women blaming it on us. You see what I mean? And see, then the white dude exposed that whole damn thing in the comment when he was exposed it. 1 minute, we just walking off and not taking care of our children. Then he come around and say black women leaving married black men because the state incentivized them for being in welfare, which is kind of true. That's true. So this white Peckerwood cracker was speaking a half-truth. A half-truth, like most white folks do, like white folks of their ilk. I ain't gonna say all white people, I'm gonna take that back. White people of their ilk, the white supremacist ilk, they talk, motherfucker. You can easily, if you're a well-intelligent, well-read individual, you can destroy all the arguments. I say if you like Marquette, if you're a Marquette, Jason Black, Professor Black Truth, hell, even fucking Phil from the Advice Show. Phil from the Advice Show, me, Sarge Willie P. We can destroy all those white supremacist arguments because they can't come with us to that shit. We already know how they gonna try to move with the tactics that they use. They already coming with a disadvantage of intellectual dishonesty. That clearly, if you will go pull up the facts, you can destroy and debunk their arguments and make Charlie Kirk or any white supremacist or white nationalist look like an idiot. But the thing is, they're going to double down on that because they are white supremacists and they're arrogant and they don't, in their mindset, they don't think that they're wrong. Charlie Kirk never thought that he was wrong, even though you can debate any of his arguments. He had people that said, hey, we can have a debate. Charlie Kirk just as well as Richard Spencer, Nick Fuentes, all of them been called out. All them been called out by me, by fucking Sarge Willie P, by many of the black people on YouTube that's in these spaces. We called Charlie Kirk out, saying shit. I sent emails to Charlie Kirk so many, but he never responded to him. It ain't because, oh, he's arrogant, this and that. I told him, hey, I was willing to be a debate. And if you wanted to debate, I would sit around and tell people online that you wanted. I'll give you credit for it. I will give you credit. I told Jared Tate, I told fucking Richard Spencer this. I told Nick Fuentes this. You know how many times Marquise called motherfuckers saying Nick Fuentes out, and Nick Fuentes took that time down because he know who to fuck with. They know who to debate with. They know who to debate with on the platform because they don't want to be destroyed in a debate. They don't want to be destroyed in a debate. That'll make them look, that'll make their viewpoints look bad, even though the white supremacists still gonna hang on it. You can't convince them otherwise. They still convinced that the white dude that actually seen running who assassinated Charlie Kirk, they don't want to even believe that this dude killed him. They still, even though when no black people know what, or even so-called Israeli, they want to believe either that or so-called black. They know they can't blame us for it, but they'll still go after us as a reason why. Even though black people socially, economically at the bottom, and they say, oh, well, y'all black people at the bottom because this, that. So if we at the bottom, then how are we going to have power to do shit against y'all then? I ask all them white supremacists that shit. How do we have the power to do it if we at the bottom? Because y'all say we're at the bottom because our own motherfuckers not take accountability. If we're at the goddamn bottom like that, then how the fuck we gonna do something against y'all if we powerless? And y'all already know we powerless. So y'all really can't pull that shit on us. But y'all, what y'all do, if y'all can't do it to us, then I'll go pull it on y'all Jewish white brethren who have way more control than y'all that got y'all leaders on, that basically control y'all white Anglo leaders. But I digress. That's a whole nother goddamn video on how the Lord has running shit. Doing the shit they do. Because me, I don't see it neither no different when y'all throw around talking, that's because the Lord had people. Oh yeah? Well shit, y'all sure is controlled by the Lord had people. But like I said, Charlie Kirk, I do not feel no motherfucking empathy for Charlie Kirk. And then when niggas come to me talking about y'all shouldn't be saying that, even though this man said this, we just got to take the moral high ground. Motherfucking in survival, in the motherfucking survival mode, the moral high ground is irrelevant. The moral high ground and morality is irrelevant when it comes to survival. I don't know why y'all niggas don't understand that shit. This is motherfucker survival mode shit. You had Charlie Kirk himself say he's not empathetic. So why should we, since he's not empathetic to the servant of black folks, why the fuck should we be empathetic to this motherfucker? This motherfucker who was in his 30s looked like he was goddamn 50. Why? And then on top of that, you got bootlicks, tap dancing ass niggas up and talking about, this man never happened to Charlie Kirk. Man, niggas, y'all bootlicking ass niggas, y'all got, what, y'all licking that man doodle crack. Y'all literally, these niggas literally licking this man doodle crack. It ain't just him. You got some Native Americans and Latinos who he was up there saying, well, the Native Americans, that's their fault, so they was being conquered. That what fucked me up when you had some Native Americans riding on this shit. I'm like, wait a minute. Motherfucker, they tried to eradicate y'all. But anyway, like I said, man, I don't give a fuck about Charlie Kirk. Motherfucker talk about, so how you feel about this and sad down? I said, I don't feel no way or the other. I don't care. I'ma still live my life, do what I do, and motherfucker gonna talk about, well, you should have empathy for what? A motherfucker who didn't like me? Who wanna see my kind pretty much back before 1965, before the Civil Rights Act? Living in power where they can lynch us up at any opportunity, just round us up, put us in chain gangs and shit. Y'all niggas want that? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think you niggas just, I don't think so. Because I'm going to tell you what, I love to see the niggas that sit up there talking, Charlie Kirk this, that, for them to go back to that situation. And these white folks tell y'all, look here, nigga, you can't buy this. Oh, you want to build a town, nigga, we gonna destroy your town. We gonna chase y'all off y'all land and take y'all land. You got white people that stole land from us, living on their descendants still living on the land, and you got these crackers talking about, that's my daddy land that we done took from the black folks. And you wonder why, talking about, we don't have the right for reparations, talking about, well, slavery. No, it ain't even just for slavery. There's all kind of shit that happened after slavery, all the way up to now. From the denial of giving us reparations. They don't even want to give us reparations. Hell, we don't even have to use goddamn slavery. You dig? We don't even have to use that. We can use what? For what? We had, after slavery, we had motherfucking Reconstruction. We had Reconstruction that didn't last no more than, a year after the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. Then on top of that, they put in Jim Crow laws was right behind that shit. You had black people sharecropping, wasn't getting paid shit. So that's technically still goddamn slavery. You still have black people in slavery back then. All the way to the goddamn the early 1900s. You had the last slave that died in the 1900s. So my great grandparents, they go back to damn slavery. Ain't number 2 goddamn generations. They ain't number 2 goddamn generations from slavery. If your grandparents are boomers, then their children, their granddaddies, their mamas are the great generation, then they go back to slavery. They act like that shit, that was 1,000 years ago. No, the fuck it wasn't. That's the intellectual dishonesty of white folk. The white supremacist minded white folk. That make you think that shit thousands of years ago. They ain't number 2 generations back to slavery. You got what? I'm a Gen X. Then you got my parents are boomers. Then you got my grandmother, great generation. Then you got the descendants of the slaves. They are the children and grandchildren of the slaves who actually was on the plantations and shit. Get the fuck out of here. And we don't even have to use that for reparations. We can use all the shit that happened to now. That's why I said to have a debate with a white supremacist is a waste of time, because they're going to come with intellectual dishonest talking points. They're going to come and say, well, we gave y'all welfare. White folks benefited off that more than we did. Well, we gave y'all DEI. White women benefited off that more than we did. We gave y'all affirmative action. Black people didn't benefit off affirmative action. Then you use weaponize the Asian people. They went hard in the paint because they want to lick white folks' booty crack. Not all of them. Some of them already knew the play. Some Asian people knew the play. But you had some that wanted to be so anti-black, they didn't care about joining white folks, and then they got double-crossed because the double-cross was getting Asian people out of motherfucking university because they white folks didn't want to have to compete with a group of people who they found that were way more intellectually astute than them. This is why they got mad at Vicar Swami for saying what he said, that white people need to be accountable. I like, they white people went damn near nuts when Vicar Swami said that shit. I said, damn, that's the same shit. Ain't that what the white folks say to us who railroaded us? Oh, y'all niggas need to take personal accountability and pull y'all self up by bootstraps that we snatched from y'all ass that we didn't want y'all to have. Well, you black people need to try to get yourselves on y'all feet. Well, we tried that, but y'all destroyed y'all burnt our community down. Nigga, we don't want to hear that. Black fatigue. Fuck out of here. Y'all motherfucking white folks be killing me with that shit. And I ain't talking about the average rank and file white person. Because you got white people who know this who come out and say this shit. But normally they get drowned out by the peckerwood crackers that do. It's almost like you got black women that are good black women. They drowned out by all the whores and all that shit. Good people get drowned out by the majority of the people that ain't about shit. Whether they be in the white community or the black community. Like black women. You got decent, good black women out here that's decent, but they get overwhelmingly overran by all the bitches that's whores and all that shit. That ain't about shit. So you got that in a white community. You got a few handful of white people that's like Tim Wise, Shaheem, Bilal. You got a few white people that know the truth, but they normally drowned out by all the white supremacist-minded people who want to hide. Not that they want to hide the truth, they know the truth, but they want to live in an intellectual, dishonest world where they feel, well, I'm white and it don't matter what y'all been through because I'm a white man. And a white man, we got no laws bound that we got to respect by a black man. And that's how these white people like Jared Taylor, Richard Spencer, Nick Fuentes, Charlie Kirk, that's how they believed in. And then while he was up there talking about gang violence in Chicago, that don't have shit to do with him. He ain't white people. That shit ain't affecting white people, the gang violence in the black. Well, they damn concerned about black people committing, black on black crime in the black community. Why they so concerned about that? They ain't living in the black community. They ain't in Chicago living in motherfucking south side of North Chicago. And then when the crime do pour over into that community, I tell them the black people y'all deserve. Shout out to Sarge Willie Pete. Them the black people y'all deserve. And you can have all the buck dance, bootlicks, and cool niggas sit up there trying to tap dance and lick your ass. But all you have to do is have that knowledge and facts like me. You can destroy them all the time in a debate. That's why I told y'all when Charles White say one thing and say another. One thing Charles White saying black people this and that. Then next minute he up there talking about Charlie going off on Charlie Kirk too. I said, oh, this nigga just a straight grifter. That's why I don't take shit that Charles White say literally. Because he a grifter. But I digress on that one. But anyway, you got a lot of these Negroes that's some goddamn grifters. All of them want to take Candace Owens' spot. Because now Candace Owens, they white folks, like I said, like Jason Black said, shout out to Jason Black and Professor Black Truth, white supremacy break their tools when they no longer need them. And Candace Owens is that motherfucker, is what they do. They broke her ass down to the point, and then she gonna have that debate with Nick Fuentes, who after he got off the debate went talking about her like shit, just like he did. He told